People ask me a lot of how do doorways to the demonic get opened in their home? Well, pretty simple actually. If you read the Bible or get a good examination of conscience form, which only lists mortal sins, and you do that stuff, that will open a lot of doorways. Now, more specifically, and remember this list is not all inclusive. If I happen to not say what your particular favorite mortal sin is, and you're thinking, oh, Zachary King didn't say that one, I'm safe. You're not. Just wanted to mention that. So, simple ways, things that you may not even consider. Remember that someone possibly owned your house before you got there. So that person could have had a seance set in their house, could have invited a psychic over, could have practiced magic, could have been into crystals, could have been into any number of things that even though you yourself are not involved in, they opened the door and the demon could still be there. Now, as you yourself, if you go to psychics or buy a tarot deck and play with that, or you're a fan of crystals or horoscopes, and it's not always, remember, it's not always the more overt things. I mean, you could just read the newspaper every day and read your horoscope in it. As well, if you're a drug addict, if you're an alcoholic, these are things that attract demons. If you're a cutter, or somebody in your family is a cutter, or let's say you and your husband or you and your wife, you guys don't sin. If you do, it's every once in a while you're sinning. You go to confession regularly. And yet, there seems to be a doorway. There's something going on in your house. Does your teenager masturbate? Is that something you would know? Remember that is a serious mortal sin, and demons will use that doorway to come right in and mess with you. It's pornography. What magazines do you have in your house? Are you getting, I used to receive, I didn't even order these, but I got Fredericks of Hollywood, which is a pretty nasty catalog of stuff that no one should look at. It will definitely put an adult into mortal sin looking at it. Imagine what it would do for your child. And all these different ways. Now, protecting yourself. Now, and remember, that wasn't an all-inclusive list, so if I didn't say something and you know better, then you know better. That list, just because I didn't mention your particular sin doesn't mean it's not a sin. Confession is your number one tool. You have to get confession, and not just you, but all the members of your family. I recommend going to confession every 7 days. Now, if you don't need confession every 7 days, praise God. But everybody could use a blessing. So every 7 days you don't need confession? Fine. Go get a blessing instead. At least do that. Now, on top of that, sacramentals are also awesome. You might have to throw a blessed miraculous medal into every room of your house. You might need to hang up pictures of Divine Mercy Jesus or Sacred Heart or something like that. Everyone should have their house blessed at least once. We're coming up on Epiphany, so it's time for that Epiphany blessing. I just talked to a priest a couple of days ago. He said he has 150 homes to bless. And he's going to be a busy man for a weekend. And then as well, if creepy stuff is happening in your house, you might have an infestation. You might not. You could just have opened up a doorway. The first major step in getting that doorway closed is the confession. You may have to have deliverance prayers prayed in your house or over you. And ultimately, you might end up needing an exorcism of your home or of yourself or of your child or something. But one step at a time, let's close what we can, as we can. So the first step is the confession. I cannot stress the importance of that. And sacramentals, either that you wear or that you use. Anything that's a sacramental can help protect you. It's a sign of your faith.